Sample Productions.
It's all about the secret ballers, shot callers. What's he like? Is he fearful or cautious? What's the stat? Can he play it in the corners? What's the fact? Can he hack it with the ballers? It's all about ballers, shot callers. Ballers, shot callers. It's all about ballers, shot callers. Ballers, shot callers. It's all about ballers. With Secret Scout. Make sure you subscribe.
Welcome all to a brand new podcast called Hit the Channels with myself, Clinton Ford, and we have to my right, David from the Secret Scout. How you doing, my friend?
Yes, all good, Clint. Look, it's a great opportunity to begin the podcast. It's been a while. Obviously,
it's been a long time coming.
Yeah, look,
6 years.
Yeah, 6 years. I think that's when I first met you at Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
So, yeah, look, a lot has changed since we started the account and the business 6 years ago. We've grown massively across platforms and with our links in football. So yeah, I think now is the right time as we've evolved over the years to look into creating a podcast. I know we've been discussing it for many moons.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think it's a good time to begin it.
Yeah, why now though? Why in particular now at this period of time?
And
why are you revealing yourself as the Secret Scout?
Well, I think things have changed. Obviously, where I co-founded it in 2018. First lost the Instagram account, went after 50,000.
I've been there, mate.
So yeah, learnt my lesson from that. But no, like over the years, we've grown. We've got scouts in Europe, in South America, in Africa, who have continued to support the information that we've wanted and needed, which is why we've grown. But now we just got a big team of social media managers, obviously brand partnership managers. So it's handing it over to them, letting them learn and grow in that area. Whereas now my time is a lot more free. And I think obviously there's other people in the business that could potentially come on and discuss. But I think for me as one of the founders, it's really important that I come on and explain some of the situations that's going on in youth football.
Yeah, and you're everywhere now. You know, you're at cup competitions, you're at Baller League as well. Talk to you about the involvements that seen you venture into these worlds.
Yeah, look, in terms of obviously my background in football, the opportunities come about to work with some of the biggest football tournaments. For example, the Kevin De Bruyne tournament that we're going to be heading over. So the fact that our media business and the growth in our audience has led to like brand partners wanting to work with us and to highlight some of the good work that they're doing. Obviously, Baller League came about in terms of supporting them with their trials because they needed players for the trials, but also quality of players. And then they wanted me to become a coach. I thought I've said like, nah, I'm done with coaching. I'm finished with that. But obviously Mike is involved, Gary and Alan. So yeah, it's a great time. It's a great time to discuss more and really build actually what is the Secret Scout talking about, I guess.
Why did you start the Secret Scout?
I think anyone in football, there's always been an interest in who's the next star coming through. Look, a Football Manager, like continuous, like year after year. Who's the wonder kid? Who's the next one? So I wanted to start. Obviously, there was something called the Secret Footballer. I think it was Dave Kitson, another Dave. So something in common there. But I just felt there was a place for something like this, and obviously it helped when no one knew who it was at the time. So obviously it adds that
mystique.
Yeah. It just I think it just adds. It's not personal. And yeah, obviously the intention was always to scale it as a team, but I felt the brand name was perfect. And obviously you got other youth accounts like Rising Ballers who have done brilliant over the years and smashed what they've done. So yeah, we're a bit more smaller than them in terms of the niche, but hopefully the viewers are able to get an understanding of the next gen and a bit of insight of what it takes to become a professional footballer.
Now, for anyone tuning into this podcast,
Yeah.
what are they going to have in store? What are they going to be tuning in for in particular?
Yeah, so look, the show will hopefully be running consistently each week, where we're discussing new football topics, whether that's transfers, discussing players that are starting to break through. Viewers can ask questions as well on a weekly basis, which we will be replying to. Hopefully, the majority of them will be nice.
Yeah, I'm sure they will be.
And yeah, player interviews. So we've got one with ex-player Patrice Evra, and then we've got some special guests that will be joining us along the way. And look, long term, it's to go into clubs, create documentaries, just be something where a place is
A credible platform for
yeah.
whether it be youth footballers or ex-pros to come and share their knowledge and their expertise and opinions, right?
Yeah, I just think we have a structure and how we want it to look like, but the great thing about the game is that it can create so many opportunities. So obviously you got the World Cup next year, you have the Euros. So I think there'll be hopefully a lot of opportunities to go and find about players' journeys and why does one player make it and the other not? Why was a top star at 14, 15, 16 not had the transition that everyone expected, or a player that was just but then has jumped above everyone else? Loan moves, like from under 18s to 21s, like what does a loan move look like? What does it consist of? What did the players learn? And I think those are the opportunities, where we wanna provide some insight into.
So let's talk about transfers. It's that time of year again.
Yeah.
So I know you know a little bit about that as well. There was an infamous transfer, Enzo Fernandez. How did you get the scoop before Fabrizio?
Look, I think where you become a trusted person in terms of working with scouts and agents and clubs, I think people wanna provide you with information if you're a good person. Obviously, it works both ways. And yeah, the Enzo one was an interesting one because the person that called me up, I was like, "How the hell are you involved in this deal?" And I remember on socials it was a bit hit and miss whether Chelsea were going to buy him. And it's around 11 o'clock. I got the call, and he was like, "No, the deal's done, Dave. The deal's done." And I'm like, "Are you sure? Like, are you sure?" He was in a taxi with one of the other agents. He was like, "No, we've just done it. It's complete." So I left it, and then obviously I'm looking on socials, and we're speaking as a team. Like, do we put this out? Do we put this out? Because if it's incorrect, then you lose. The business will lose, and the account will lose credibility. Yeah. So I called him again, and I said, like, "I'm gonna put this out, but are you telling me it's?" And he was like, "Dave, I wouldn't do this to you. Let's go." And then I boomed it. I can't remember what time I boomed it at, but I fell asleep, and then the next day everyone was just like, "Wow, well, like how?" Before anyone else. I think Fabrizio done it on, I think he does a YouTube, like a live stream, and then it was like an hour and a half after we announced it.
So did he credit you?
I'm not sure. He might have done. He might have done, but to be fair, it's irrelevant because.
No, I mean, look, it's in that world. It's all about who gets there first, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean, it's either Fabrizio or
Ornstein. Another Dave.
What's up with you, Daves? You're always on it. It's always one of those two, right? But it's who gets there first with the credible source.
Yeah.
So how important is it to have that credible source in place, just so, like you said, you don't look like you've got egg on your face?
No, I think at the early years, obviously, people within football obviously knew I was involved in it and started it. But I think you just don't want to be disappointing or giving fake news or leading fans down the wrong path. So I've always been keen to let the guys know, yes, look at what transfer news, but always come to us as directors, like, is this good to push out? Or because, as I said, you lose credibility. I remember, there was tweets saying your legacy's on the line here, and if this is wrong, we're gonna come and find you. Obviously, they were joking, but
What transfer was that then?
that's the Enzo one.
Oh, really?
We'll bring it up on the screen. Like, we'll show them what the tweets were. But it was, look, people, the game is the best game in the world. So there's passionate fans, and what they want to know the truth. So hopefully we can, as I said, over the next up and coming months, more of the transfers that come through, and actually discuss why the clubs are targeting them.
Is there any chances that you might have got wrong or got misinformation?
Not really, to be honest. I think what we've tried to do is, obviously, when there's rumours, we try to actually factually say, yes, they're interested. There's no actual terms of like putting fake news out because again, what's the point? Honestly, it's not our intention to do stuff like that, because again, inevitably people will just switch off and not believe you. But I think more how we're working now is explaining why a club's interested in a player, how they can add value to a team. I remember Ryan Gravenberch, the fans wasn't really sure about him, but for me, it was one of the top midfielders coming through at Ajax. Obviously, the Bayern move wasn't as successful, but you just have to look at why a player would be good. I said he can play as a holding midfielder. People were like, nah. But that's where, football's a game of opinions. So some we get right, and then there's always some that you get wrong.
I mean, he's done all right now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's performing well. So it's a good place to be able to share some information.
And what does the fans ask for the most? Like, I'm guessing they ask for the figures when it comes to transfers. Like, how much is he on?
Not really.
No?
Not really. No, they just ask about how true is a transfer, and can we provide some insight? Who's this player? Especially ones that are younger. Like, who is he?
Yeah.
Give us some feedback. So
because you can always try and go off a YouTube highlight reel, but
you can't.
That's not really a true reflection of like that player, right? We can all.
You can make yourself.
Wait! Don't do that, man! Don't do that, man! Come on.
No, but no, looking forward to it.
Fair enough. And then youth transfers and youth football in particular. Why is that such at a high now? You mentioned a couple of accounts that do their thing, Rising Ballers and stuff like that. But why is it so popular now? Is it just a case of everyone wants to find out who the next one is? Because you've done your coaching badges, you've done your coaching years and stuff like that. You've put in your 10,000 hours, and you would have seen the likes of Ethan and all these players coming through the ranks. But why is there such a spotlight on them now?
I just think it's always been there. There's always been an interest in finding it. Look, football, as I said, Football Manager has been everyone's first thing to do is who's the next wonder kid? Is it Saviola? Is it Mascherano, Tevez? These type of players always look. Diego, Robinho. These players always people are looking out for. What's changes is there's X, there's Instagram. That's all that's changed, is that there's now a platform for people to discuss it more. And a lot of scouts have been successful from putting their views across on the top players. Some of them have got jobs from it. So I think that's why I just think everyone has always been interested in the next top players coming through. I just think there's the platforms now.
Okay. And then in terms of youth transfers, you're very hot on that.
Yeah.
What in particular do you look for in terms of like their background, their attributes? What do you look for in particular to make it into a story?
Obviously, first of all, obviously the links with clubs that we have. Sometimes they provide us with information because they want to work with us, because obviously we're a positive platform. There's certain times where, that families might not want information out, because you've got to be mindful. Some of the boys could be in school, or just they don't want it to be out there, the families. So you've got to respect that, and we do. But yeah, there's just so much attention around it. But yeah, we have a team that scout, that analyze the players, because we can't, as I said, go on just clips. It's not. It wouldn't be providing a true reflection. We've seen some clips this week of Cristiano's son, and he was heavily criticised on socials, which was unfair. You know, we were there in Croatia, and look, he's never. Will he be able to reach his dad's height? Very unlikely, but no, he's there because he's good enough, not just because his dad's Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Like, he can actually perform, and thankfully he scored 2 goals in the final, which, you know, is a nice moment for him.
That's lovely. So I'm expecting some big guests.
We'll
big
try.
guests.
Look, we'll try. That's the aim. That's why I want to do it, is because we have an opportunity to get closer to players, closer to scouts in the game, heads of recruitment, and yeah, just look. It's something where we want to provide information, and hopefully the people watching at home enjoy it. But we're not trying to be someone else, or we only know how we want to be, and that's how we will go.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're nice in the comments and the reflections.
No, of course they will. Of course they will. I mean, look, all of our backgrounds, Kurt included as well, like, bring something to the table. So I'm expecting a variety of different guests that, you know, could bring a lot of insight to the viewers watching at home as well. So I'm looking forward to that as well. But yeah, the last one I want to touch upon, and again, this is something that's going to be very crucial to the viewers as well, as club visits.
Yeah.
So obviously you do a lot of them, you know, when you're doing your work. What sort of insight are you going to bring to the viewers that are watching at home?
Yeah, I think first and foremost will be to go to, say, for example, Barcelona, Juventus, Dynamo Zagreb, these type of clubs, to find out, like, how they, the past players that they've produced, and to get an idea of, like, how they continue to scout. Obviously, they have to scout players themselves, and then how they develop the boys in the academy, whilst also speaking to the boys as well, to find out how their journey's been. So yeah, it's gonna be very versatile. It's not gonna be just one way, but it's certainly be our way.
Well, guys, if you like what you heard, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and again, follow us on all socials, and we'll see you guys all in the next episode.
Ballers, shot callers, it's all about ballers.